Hey, shalom, shalom. We'll start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak Wadash. We want to sit up our honest our apostles who are elders, who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Call Lord Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Rachak Wadash. And this is a lesson that the title will be, what's the title is going to be? It is finished. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and the point that is driven is that, you know, we come across things every day in our lives. We have tasks every day, spiritual, job related, family related, home related. And when you finish the task, can you say it is finished? In the reference to, we're referencing to when Yahweh Shai, gave his last breath on the cross, okay? Really, before he gave his last breath, he said it is finished. He did the job, okay? And doing the job doesn't mean that you completed the task, per se, but you did what you were supposed to do, okay? So you may have to move 1,000 blocks from here, 1,000 blocks from here to over here, okay? And you did what you physically can do. You sat down, you looked up the best strategy, you timed it, you did what you're supposed to do, and you didn't move the 1,000 blocks from here to here in that day, but you moved it according to your plan to perfection. Then you can say it is finished. But if you set up a plan and then you execute half of it, no. Or if you move the blocks from here to here, but they're unorganized, no. Now you got to double work and rebuild the blocks. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about doing it to its completion or its proper way. And we're gonna get into the scriptures, and I just want to go into a couple things within the book of the name of the book is The Beginner's Guide to Stoicism, and kind of just point out a couple things. Again, can we get that? There's no
Sure want to make.
Yeah, yep. So, because I'm bringing this out just a reminder, you know, that it's always the Bible first. Everything filters through the scriptures. All right, you just gotta pick out the bones. There's fruit. Pretty much, sometimes things can modernly translate something that's in the scriptures and make it. They pretty much a dive into it, you know. So you got it, brother?
John, this is Isaiah 34:16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read."
Yeah, this is the first book we're gonna go. First book we reference to. This is the core. All right, everything filters through the scriptures. Okay.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate, meaning there is no comparison to the scriptures. So the scriptures is above all, and I'm putting that out there so you don't think that, or in order to get deeper into the scriptures, I got to go into books like this. No, it's just a journey that I'm on to get into a book like this. But everything goes to the scriptures first. That's the main foundation, okay? And the Lord had my mind strong enough to I can read other books and not deviate from the scriptures. And because you get into other books and they start having you believe in what they're doing. So again, you got to know how to pick out the bones. Just an FYI for those who may be young, you know what I'm saying, in the spirit, okay? So I want to go into this page 46 of The Beginner's Guide to Stoicism. It says infinite opportunity. It says if you stop focusing on outcomes, but instead desire being your best at every moment, you'll understand that every situation provides an opportunity to practice virtue. Okay? And can we get that word virtue, Baba Kashaf?
This is the etymology on virtue. It says moral life and conduct, moral excellence, force, strength, vigor, moral strength, qualities, abilities, moral strength, high character, goodness, manliness, valor, bravery, and courage.
Yeah, so all that takes virtue. Can you get moral? Because it just keeps saying moral goodness, more of this, more of that, more of this. You know, and it's like pretty much you just kind of, it leads you down a rabbit hole, but it just goes to the core of moral, okay?
It says associated with or characterized by right behavior, associated with or concerning conduct or moral principles.
Yeah, because let's get into the scriptures that say give him strong meat, right? Because pretty much you can't just give, and then it was about the honey, you know what I'm saying? You can't just give anybody any information. All right, I may be teaching you the right information, but it may be meat that you can't chew. You may be a babe in the spirit. So is it right to give you right information? Or is it morally good to give you something that you can chew on and digest? Okay?
It says, for everyone that, Salakia, I'm ready. Hebrews 5:13. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
There's nothing wrong with being unskillful. You got to be weaned from the milk. You're a babe. Okay? And a person of skill will recognize that. You'll say, oh, I'm going over your head. Or you can make somebody bug out telling them, you know, they don't even know about who Moses is, or they never read the 5 books of Moses, and you're telling them about the dragons and the 7 heads and 10 horns of Revelation. You know, you're gonna fuck their head up, man. All right.
Can I grab this right quick?
Yeah.
This is 1 Corinthians 3:1. This is, very similar. It says, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Hamashiach. I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able.
So what's the point? Again, like I read in this quote, it says, if you stop focusing on outcomes, what would be an outcome to the situation of teaching? Teaching, somebody getting the information.
Yep.
All right? I'm giving you information and you're receiving it, right? It says, but instead desire being your best at every moment. Meaning, when I'm dealing with babes, I got to teach on their level. That takes skill, okay? To say, let me adjust my volume, okay? Let me adjust the information. And it says, you'll understand that every situation provides an opportunity to practice virtue, to adapt to the right environment, to do what's right for that environment, okay? And sometimes, me and the brother, this lesson came about of the environment of being ourselves. Sometimes there's times that Yahweh Shai, he chilled with the disciples. Sometimes he chilled with the publicans and sinners. Sometimes he went by himself. Sometimes he chilled with the congregation. It was Mary, it was the disciples. Everybody was just cooling in the house. We can't say exactly what they're doing. All we could do is say what the scriptures say they were doing. But we know what their accounts are, that Yahweh Shai was in different situations. Sometimes he was isolated by himself. Sometimes he was linked up with the brothers and the disciples, and it was solemn, and everything was right for every moment. Okay? It wasn't just, I have to chill with the disciples all day. Now when it's like time to handle business, it's the disciples.
Yep.
When it's time to fellowship, or to deal with Israel, he dealt with his circle, Mary and all them people, because they was around too. But they wouldn't handle the solemn business, because you got to stay within order, even because you're living free, but you're not out of order. Because women got to keep silence in the churches, right? So you go ahead, brother.
Hey, did you still want me to get the strong meat part?
Yeah, and you can get what you wanted to get.
Okay, because you mentioned, hey, this is 1 Corinthians 9:19. It says, for though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more.
Yeah.
And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without the law, as without the law, being not without the law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach, that I might gain them that are without the law.
Yeah, because sometimes when Yahweh Shai with the publicans and sinners, he wasn't doing what they did.
Yeah.
He remained himself, but that he wasn't saying, I gotta be with the disciples 24/7, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you will find yourself in other environments. And other times, especially with dealing with us, you may desire another environment. And what I mean, we was talking about just, you might want to go out to eat, right? that is what you want to accomplish. You may want to go with brothers, everybody. You may want to go with one particular brother. You may want to go with a shorty. You may want to go by yourself. You may want to go with your child. You know what I'm saying? But it's what's right for that environment. But some people try to box you in and say, okay, we're going to have to eat. I always got to go with the brothers, or especially with women. Oh, you always got to do this. You're off. That means you always got to chill with me. And then you get tense, wound up and things like that, instead of doing what's right for that environment. If everybody did what's right for the environment, it'll be in harmony, man. But it's just people get greedy and they disrupt things and try to use so-called order, or what it's supposed to be, to make it the standard. Like the brother said, like women, for example, you'll say, okay, I'm off on Wednesdays. We can go out to eat and watch a movie on this day. There's no brothers around, and I'm kind of free. And then they'll say, oh, this is what we do every Wednesday. You may want to be by yourself. You may want to go and meditate on that Wednesday. You may want to go fishing or go by yourself. You may want to chill with your family. You may want to chill with the brothers. And you got to do what's right for that environment, man. That don't mean you neglect the woman. You give her due time, but due benevolence, but that don't mean it's fixated that way. When you study, sometimes you get into the Apocrypha, sometimes you get into the whole script, sometimes you get into the history, sometimes you listen to videos and audios, sometimes you can get your spirit livened up by listening to I forget the term, but it's like a euphonium or a type of euphonium type of wave, where you could put on a headphone and it's a wave pattern going back and forth between your eardrums, and it could put your body in a nice fluent flow. And that can be just as fruitful as studying, but you can't, let's get that, be not insatiable upon anything. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that balance. You got to know too much of anything. What's it say with scriptures? Much learning have made thee mad. Mm-hmm. You go into the Salakia. You get that, brother.
It says Ecclesiasticus 37 and 29. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats.
Yeah, so if you go to satiable, the word, it goes to satiate. This means satisfied. Okay, to satisfy. So unsatiable is to be unsatisfied. So you're pretty much, there's no end. I'm about to read the book Bible from beginning to end, and then I'm going to read it back again, and you non-stop reading. You're being unsatiable. You got to give yourself a break. Yeah. And when you go to the book of Ecclesiastes, and can you get there's so many precepts in there, but Solomon said around about all is vanity, man. But then, when I first read that book, I said, well, what's the point? And then I had to read it again, and he's not saying it's no point to life. He's saying enjoy what you have in front of you, appreciate it for what it is at that moment. Mm-hmm. Food tastes good for a reason. Yeah, we want to go home and get out of here, but that don't mean I'm just going to eat rice cakes, or just like Mark Zuckerberg said, this is fuel. You just eating nutrients. You might as well just eat vitamins and drink water and go about your day. Yeah. Steak tastes like that for a reason. Salmon tastes like that for a reason, but you can't be insatiable upon meats, because too much leads to choler. Yep. So sickness and bad diet, ain't nothing wrong with drinking, but drinking too much. Yeah. Excessive drinking leads to anger, leads to wrath, leads to bad health. Exercise profit little. But like the brother said, but this says profit of little. Don't say profit of nothing. Mm-hmm. It says profit of little. That don't mean you wake up in the morning, you running, and then you going to the gym, and then your whole day revolves around that. And we was joking out about be trying to eat healthy, and then you kind of count calories and proteins. Man, look, I'm just going to eat right, and whatever I feel like eating when I feel like eating it. I'm not going to be undisciplined, eat anything, but I'm not going to wind myself up by just, I got to eat this, and now you hungry low-key you want a Snickers bar, low-key. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh my God. Yeah, you got to have discipline, but it's okay to do that every once in a while.
Moderation.
Yeah, in moderation, man. You got to know how to, as long as you know how to get away from that and stop doing it when it's time, you good. Okay?
John. This is Ecclesiastes 1:14. It says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit.
All is vanity and vexation of spirit. What is vanity? It's emptiness.
Yeah.
It's void. Because doing these lessons, that's vanity. You know why? Because they could delete the page. So at the end of the day, we're doing it because we had a revelation through the Spirit and we want to share it with the congregation to help them. And that is what's immortal. The moment that you're living in is what's immortal. Not what you did in that moment, because that's going to be taken away. You can make $1 million. That joy that you felt, that's what's immortal. You know what I'm saying? That's what's forever.
Yeah.
Because somebody can knock you the fuck out and take your money and now you broke again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the moment. So you're supposed to enjoy the moment. You know what I'm saying? Not just live like YOLO. I'm not saying that. You be virtuous. You be morally good. You do what's right for the moment. You know, magnify it. You go ahead, brother.
No, I say you don't see Michael Jordan trying to come back and hoop. He had his time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That was his moment.
You see what happened to Holyfield?
Yeah.
Holyfield looked crazy out there. You know, and Holyfield ain't no slouch, man. He tried to relive a moment that wasn't for him, man. But guess what? That moment was for Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tyson's in a different moment of being in the limelight and drawing certain attention.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, even if he win or lose, it's Tyson and he got this feng shui about him to draw fighters in and to make this information. Holyfield just wanted to relive that moment, man. Going back to your boy, when he tried to, go get that fame, like his brother in the Book of Maccabees, that wasn't, he did right. He went and fought a war, but he wasn't supposed to go. He tried to get something that wasn't for him. He tried to overdo that moment, man. All right? Made something that sound right come across, really, he did something that wasn't right and made it try to look like it was right. Low-key, he wanted a name for himself, but he said, well, I'm going to go over here and fight them. But you're doing that for your own shine.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it for what's good for the environment. Is it going to help out Israel or is it going to help out yourself? You know, that's Esau is known for doing things for his own belly. Okay? I want to read one of these excerpts real quick. Let me know if you have something about it.
Yeah, can I finish this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just finishing this 1 Corinthians chapter 9. All right, because like Paul was saying, he basically adapted to the environment, what was reasonable for that moment. All right, and it says, this is 1 Corinthians 9:22. It says, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak, and I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partakers thereof with you. So it's all for the gospel's sake. He's not taking the power that the Lord gave him in a sense and like utilizing it for himself. He's like, no, to the weak I became weak. It's all about gaining. It's all about saving, for the gospel's sake.
It takes prudent and being circumspect. And what's your goal? Is your goal to say, I know information, the Lord told me all this and I'm going to tell it to you? No, the Lord told me this information to help you get salvation. So if I got to tell you 10% to give you salvation, because if I give you 20 and it'll mess you up, it's just like cooking, man. You put too much sugar in it, it's going to mess it up. Put not enough sugar, it's going to be bland. Same thing with any herbs, spices, and any ingredient.
Yeah. So
just because it's good don't mean you just dump it in there. You gotta be moderate. You gotta pour things by measure, man.
By measure. That's why you gotta measure things.
Hey, the Lord chastise us by measure, man.
Yeah.
Because if He just dump it all on us, it'll break us.
Boy.
You just hit us all in that one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Lord told Ezra the same thing. Say, why don't you just bring everybody here and judge everybody at one time? It's like, nah, man. Like, I have to pretty much. He didn't say what it be. He said that's not how it works. It's a circle of life where everybody come and get there. It's a flow. Let it flow. Let it be what it is. Don't try to reconstruct it into what you want it to be because you're trying to be superficial and carnal to achieve a goal. You know? Yeah. It goes back to quenching out the spirit, man.
Trying to rush the process. You know, you got to let the process play out because, even like you were speaking about measurements, the Lord he got 12 parts of the world and he measured out all of it for everything to happen, how it happens, you know, and you got to walk as such, man. You got where you at now and where you going to be at. All in between there, you can't rush nothing. You can only do what's in front of you, you know what I'm saying, by measurement, by what the Lord allow you to have.
And sometimes you may have the ability to do more or do excessive, but the Lord is like, chill out, bro.
Yeah.
Or the Lord is telling you shit out through the signs around you. We were just talking about it right before we did the lesson, and we were talking about, you know, handling something as a camp. And, you know, I said, we're going to chill out on it. And the brother wanted to do it. He had the physical ability to go ahead and push through. And he said, why? I said, there's too much confusion going on. It's like, where's the confusion? It's all around. It's all around. This person's confused. This person's confused. Just because you're not confused and you got a game plan, the confusion is everywhere around. So you got to take that loss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want to swim from this area to that area, and then if you calculate it, and the boat might sink, and you could jump and swim the rest of it. No, bro, like, this boat ain't gonna make it. Count your loss, man. Mm-hmm. You know, rebuild, reestablish, or you might have to do it, but you gotta see what's the goal and do it as virtually as possible. Do it the right way. Okay, you might have to put yourself on the back burner. You might have to put yourself on the front. I know how to abound and I know how to abase. You have to know how to do that. Okay, that's what the true skill is in accomplishing things. Yahweh Shai knew to do what? To say what he's saying, disappear into the crowd. And then he knew how to tell Pilate to his face, like, you know, we don't deal with you. Mm-hmm. That's Pilate. You know what I'm saying? Don't you know
I take you out?
Yeah, he said, I got the power to take you out. Then the dudes that stoned him technically had some type of power to take him out, and they had less power than Pilate, and he ducked off from them, but he didn't give Pilate no answer. Why? Because it was what was right for that moment. Yeah. You know, and we have to be prudent and circumspect to understand what is right for that moment, man. Okay? Just read a couple excerpts and then we'll, through the Spirit, we'll take it to where I got to go. It says, chapter 5, Cultivating Positivity. It says, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. The greatest blessing of humankind are within us and within our reach. A wise person is content with their lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what they have not. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, pretty much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you study, I'm trying to do this lesson like this lesson we're doing, and we got a certain amount of time, I may want to bring it out in a certain way. But only thing I could do is bring it out as clear as I want to perpetuate the point I'm trying to get across. As I said, this is the point I'm trying to convey. Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, did I convey that point? Yeah. All right? In my mind, I may want to bring out this one. You know what I'm saying? He may want to bring, but did we convey the point? You know? It's just like when you're bringing out precepts and I got a precept and it's the same precept. It's unnecessary. You know, it's not necessary. You know what I mean is, say I bring out something about a missile and then he just bring out something that says the same thing but it's somewhere else. It's excessive at that point. You don't want to make something tedious where it's repeated and you're just beating a dead horse. Yeah. You know, for lack of better words.
You want to build.
Yeah, you want to build. You want to go somewhere, progress somewhere. You know. Yeah, that's pretty much. This is the last one. And then We'll let you bring some precepts out if you have any, brother.
Yeah.
This is page 96. It says, focus your energy on what you can control while practicing the Stoics' discipline. And it's just pretty much practicing. We're not going to deal with Stoic. We're going to deal with righteousness because that's what our mind is on. Okay, we're practicing. So I reword it so we can understand it in biblical terms. It says, focus your energy on what you can control while practicing righteousness and discipline. Righteousness discipline helps you find mental and emotional stability despite life's ups and downs because things happen. Yeah. All right. And if you focus on whether you have a lot of money, you have a lot of time or no time, notice, can you be righteous in that moment when you're being afflicted or when you're at the top? Because in Sirach it says when you're in prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. Can we get that, Dr. Shah? When you're in prosperity, there's forgetfulness of affliction. In the time of affliction, there's forgetfulness of prosperity. But if you can balance to not even deal with that prosperity and affliction, but you can focus on what you are trying to do and the task at hand, then that stuff won't bother you, man.
This is Ecclesiasticus 11:25. It says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Yeah, because you going through it. You win the lottery, you forget about how you were poor, so you start bugging out. But if you remain balanced and realize everything around you, if I hit the lotto, I hit the $2 million. Yeah, I'm excited. That don't mean I just lose my shit, man. Bottles on me. It's just like you start looking, you chill, you be yourself, and say, what can I do that's fruitful for the ministry? What can I do to make myself better for my situation? You may want to get yourself clothes or something, make yourself feel good, but then you want to, let me get every brother a house. Let's set up something so we can go to camp every day. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this, everything to make you efficient at what the Lord called you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what that true virtue is, or so-called stoicism is pretty much accomplishing the will of righteousness or the will of the Father in perfection, saying it is done. When you finish that job, or when you get it, you hit the lotto, and when you finish, you spent all that money, you can say it is done. I did everything I could possibly do with this money in what I am as a man of the Lord. As a man to my family, as a man to the camp, as a man to everything I put my desires to do, because you could just go get a Lambo, get a house, and then I spent the money. It is done. Yeah. Nah, you spent it on yourself. The brother's still hurting, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the money's done, but you ain't do nothing. Yeah. You done gambled it all off. You know what I'm saying? And bought liquor, and it's done. Yeah, the money's done, but you didn't do nothing with it. So when Yahweh Shah was on that cross and he said it's finished, he did everything, man. Yeah. He accomplished, he said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me. He did. You heard time and time again, yet it is written. It is fulfilled. It is fulfilled, it is written.
That's what he said. I came not to destroy the prophets, but to fulfill, to destroy, but to fulfill the prophets, you know what I'm saying, as well as the laws, That's what his job was to do.
Yep. So I'll read this last part and we can get to precepts. It says...
Very roughly paraphrasing, Salaki.
Yeah, okay. It says, there are times when things go wrong, but you still find happiness because you stood strong, persevered, and stayed true to yourself. Things happen. You may get in a disagreement with a brother, and it's all about coming to a resolution. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to argue with you, so I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm still mad at you. That don't solve anything. You have to resolve the issue. Once you resolve it, y'all both be like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. All right. I may not agree with the way your idea, but I understand why you did it. And okay, this is what we can do to bring peace to the situation. It is done. You know what I'm saying? It is finished. And that's how you got to look at the situations that we come about and come across, and we come across them every single day. When we set our goals out, and you clock in, you go to work. You want to set your house in order. You might want to clean this house might need to be cleaned from top to bottom, but you only got time to do so much. You know, the saying that I've been repeated a lot. You do what you can do when you can do it, when you can only do so much. You know, that's all you can do, man. You know, and can you say it is finished when you're done? When you say it is finished, you're going to realize what type of person you are. Were you thinking about yourself the whole time? Were you thinking about the camp? Or did you take care of yourself? Did you take care of everybody? Did you take care of the ministry? Did you take care of the Lord's? You know, because all that's involved. Let's not act like you're a super Israelite and then you just doing everything for the Lord in the Lord's name. Nah, you ain't drinking in the Lord's name. You ain't getting, I ain't talking about like a libation. I'm talking about you in that joint feeling yourself. You know, listen to little Buddha. Oh, you that's in the name of the Lord, huh? So let's not act like that. You know what I'm saying? You glorify the Lord in the true fashion. So when it's time to get solemn, all that shit get out the way. When it's time to fast, it's time to fast. You got to separate from that. You know what I'm saying? When you finish your fast, you ain't just low key. You know what I'm saying? You thinking about short and you just trying to hold off. You know what I'm saying? No, you clear, your mind's clear and you focusing on the Lord. And then when the fast is over, okay, it's finished. Now it's time to break the fast. You break the fast the right way. You know, eat your watermelon and don't rush it. I'm going to get sick and shit. You know, do everything with control, man. You know what I'm saying? And in its proper fashion. You know, and it takes wisdom and prudence to do that.
Yeah.
It takes patience, trust in the process. Because you're hungry when you come off that fast. You want to eat. You know, you start getting sick, man. You know?
I just want to grab this right quick. It's Ecclesiastes 34:10. It says, "He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence." So going through these different experiences and these different things, you will gain that prudence. You know what I'm saying? You'll understand what not to do, you know, and which way not to go, you know, based off of what you already been through. That's what the Lord is building us up to govern the world. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to be back in fucking captivity. You know what I'm saying? That's why we was at the top, dropped to the bottom, and like, oh, I do appreciate you. Hey, the water for allowing us to have another chance, man.
Hey, let's get that in 2nd Ezra, I believe, in chapter 6, I believe. You spoke on Adam.
Oh, yeah.
It was chapter 5.
After these,
I think it's 4.
like 3, huh?
Yep, 3 and 21.
Okay, kind of. When we start at 21?
You could start at 19.
This is 2nd Ezra 3 and 19. It says, "And thy glory went through 4 gates of fire and of earthquake and of wind and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them."
You see? So you got fruit from a wicked heart. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we went through that affliction to learn. Oh man, don't do that. That's the Lord made us a traveling man.
Yeah.
You know, and it ultimately, and to put us through that it's all for the good. So just because it's bad don't mean it's not good. Yeah. You got to see the good in it. You got to see why we're doing this. Mm-hmm. We're going through boot camp to govern the world, man.
Like you mentioned about the outcome, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What's the outcome of it? It says, "For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmities was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away and the evil abode still. So the times passed away, and the years was brought to an end. Then didst thou raise thee up a servant called David.
Yeah. Oh, you go ahead. Here you go. This is a fire right here. This is a hitter right here.
Whom thou commandest to build a city unto thy name, and to offer incense and oblations unto thee therein.
So it's a process. Did Adam know that it was going to lead to David?
Yeah.
But we had to fall away to get to... We had to get to the point of David, and that's where we are now, and that's why I like that part, because we're in the house of David right now spiritually.
Yeah.
Rebuilding the house of David. And you had to go through afflictions. Being in GMS, we had to go through afflictions, standing stiff.
Yep.
You know, going, whether it's ups and downs, just remaining, we ain't changing the doctrine, we ain't, you know, however they say, we ain't this, we ain't that. We kept the same doctrine, man. All right?
Yep. Because it's about the goal, man. It's about saving of souls. If you go and switching up, you're going to throw people off. You know, did you want some more of that up?
Yeah.
It says, and when this was done many years, then they that inhabit the city forsook thee, and in all things did even as Adam and all his generation had done, for they also had a wicked heart. And so thou gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies.
Yeah, it's a low point, but that's to get us back right, man. You got to take things away. You put us on punishment, ultimately to discipline us.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody else enjoy your belongings. You know?
Yeah.
It says, are their deeds then any better than inhabitants? Salakia, are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, and that they should therefore have dominion over Zion? For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 13th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and hast not signified it. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?
That's a no. But it's a process, but you can't see it because you're just seeing what's going on. Okay?
Yeah. Or is there any other people that knoweth thee besides Israel? Or what generation had so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel.
Yeah, so that, man, we had to be low to and that lowness, guess what? Showed that they wicked too. They got in rulership, and them niggas wicked too. You know, but even though we fucked up, we still serving you.
Yeah.
So that proves it brought purity out, because people can't say, well, well, y'all got lucky. It's like, nah, y'all got the same opportunity.
Yep.
You know, like y'all became rich and low, and y'all never served the Lord in either state. You know, we was wicked, but we still served the Lord what was going on. But when we low, we high, we still kept the Lord in some type of reverence.
Yeah, it was like ups and downs, man.
But at the end of the day, we still serve the Lord.
Yeah.
You know?
It says, verse 35, it says, or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
So it is done to that, to prove that no matter the ups and downs, we're gonna keep the Lord in our hearts, man. That's why Jacob churches and all these other religions is because they're a spirit. We are a spiritual people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we look to a higher power. But look at Esau. The more stronger he get, the more he resists the Most High, man.
Ooh, that's heavy.
You know, through much knowledge, he knew not the ways of the Most High, man. Oh, it's science. You know what I'm saying? Look at what they're doing with this pandemic, man.
And that's because they came up with the science, so-called. You know what I'm saying? They came up with these and that. And who came up with being an atheist? To believe in no God. You know what I'm saying?
because you're free. You get to do what you want. You think you're in control. But the more we get in control, the more we praise the Most High.
Yep.
You know, or at least keep them in there. You know what I'm saying? Jake used to get the awards. I like to thank God, and you know, and Esau got that from. But Jake do that, man. That's a renowned Jake thing, man.
You know, and we in the Feast of Tabernacle right now, which is praising the Lord for you know the things that He's provided us for. That's part of it, man.
Yep.
You know, being at harvest and asking and hoping that He would, you know, help us have another increase on the next year around.
And the thing is that again, I would like to push is that through your ups and downs, no matter what you're going through, you be the best version of yourself within that situation. When you're being afflicted, you be the best version of yourself. When you're being in abundance, when you're in abundance, you be the best version of yourself. All right, don't get your reward and start doing the all over somebody just dancing tootsie rolling. The time we're gonna get a time to tootsie roll on our enemies, but not that Deshaun Jackson throwing the football before he crossed the end zone, man. That Neely Fuller. How Neely Fuller said, celebrating before it's time, man.
Yeah, they gonna throw that flag, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep. So we have to do what's right for that moment. And again, it takes prudence and being circumspect and being selfless, man. Just being in the spirit. Sometimes you may have to be hard on a brother. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may have to be nice. Sometimes you may have to not say nothing. What does the scripture say? A wise man knoweth but yet holdeth his tongue. That because you know when to give out the information. I need information. Here you go. It's like, nah, you gotta find out if that person need that information, man.
Yep. Yeah, it might be like you was brought up about the strong meat and things. It might be too much for them. It might, not even just dealing with the scripture, but just like giving advice to people. You might,
They might not want it.
They might, yeah.
They might look like they need it, but they might not want it. Not from you. And you just wasted your time, ultimately.
Yeah.
So you have to understand what's good for the environment, what's good for righteousness. What's the Lord's will? That's like women trying to teach.
Yeah.
You think it's right. You may have a dude that don't know, and you is a Hebrew Israelitist, and you want I'm gonna have to give him the game. No, you don't say nothing. Just because you think it's right, don't make it right, man.
All things are lawful, but not expedient.
There we go. That's it. That's the spirit. Let's get that, and we'll close out on that one.
Kinda. This is 1 Corinthians 6:12. It says, "All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient."
Mm-hmm. All things are lawful. But it's not good for you all the time.
Salaki, I gotta get 10 because it's the same kind of, but 10. This is 1 Corinthians 10:23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
And that's a build up, man.
Yeah.
So what's your goal here? The Lord said I can do it. No, man. Just like having multiple women, you don't need to be doing that. You can do it, technically, but you don't need to be doing it. Look at these women out here, man. Paul said you should not want one at all. These women are out of control, man.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. You need to be doing that, chill out. What's your goal here? Okay? What's your goal? It's not all about what's right and what's wrong. It's about what the will of the Lord is. Okay? So with that being said, I want to say, Call Halal unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, Davon Apostle, our elders rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing truth, sincerity. Sincere, Habatham Tukwayam, and Shalom.
Shalom.